Tonight, a Noblesville contractor first exposed by Call 6 Investigates facing criminal charges for the first time in Indiana in connection with his business practices. Mark Sellers is accused of taking money from customers and not finishing the work. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny with the new accusations against Sellers and how one prosecutor is taking action.
Bob and Lisa Dunkel of Greenfield wanted a pole barn in their backyard. They hired Mark Sellers to do the work, but they say he never finished the job. Like many homeowners looking for a contractor, the Dunkels found Mark Sellers on Craigslist. Court documents say they paid him a $4,000 deposit on a pole barn. Prosecutors in Hancock County say Sellers drilled holes and put up poles, but didn't measure properly, so none of the lumber fit. Plus, Sellers dug holes that needed to be pumped out because they were full of water. Court records say Sellers made excuses for not finishing the job and then asked the Dunkels for an extra $2,500.
He demanded additional payment for that work, even though a lot of the work that was done was not up to specifications on the contract.
The Dunkels called Greenfield police, who investigated. Prosecutors charged Sellers with home improvement fraud.
The charges were filed because he failed to finish the work and he failed to communicate any further with that. We believe there was some deception in his actions.
Sellers' contract with the Dunkels listed his company as Indiana Choice Builders on Allisonville Road in Fishers, but that address doesn't exist. Prosecutors say when consumers don't have the right address, that makes it tough to get their money back or take legal action against a contractor.
The letter of the law is very clear that if they misrepresent their business address, that is a crime. I believe it's a B misdemeanor. This was enhanced to an A misdemeanor because the property was damaged in addition to that.
Mark Sellers is also facing a civil lawsuit from the state attorney general, accusing him of violating the Indiana Deceptive Consumer Sales Act and taking people's money and failing to finish the job, sometimes leaving behind dangerous conditions. On February 22nd, a Hamilton County judge handed down this preliminary injunction. It says Sellers' contracts must follow the Indiana Home Improvement Contracts Act, and Sellers must complete any contracted work as agreed. Call 6 Investigates also found mounting judgments in Indiana dating back to 2014, totaling more than $110,000. We met up with Sellers a year ago.
Mark, Kara Kenny with WRTV. We want to talk to you about your business practices, sir. There's a lot of people that say you owe them money. Are you taking people's money and not doing the work promised?
No.
Sellers told us then he's working on it.
Are you going to give people their money back, sir?
Yeah, through the judgments we will.
Sellers has denied many of the allegations in the Attorney General's civil lawsuit, saying he couldn't finish jobs because his customers prevented him from doing so. If Sellers is convicted of home improvement fraud in the criminal case, the prosecutor hopes to get the Dunkels their money back.
Any sentence would likely include restitution because that's really important, is making the victims whole.
Meanwhile, the Dunkels had to hire someone else to finish their barn. Mark Sellers has a pretrial conference here in Hancock County Criminal Court on March 11th at 9 a.m. He faces up to a year behind bars. Reporting in Greenfield, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Before you hire a contractor, go to mycase.in.gov and see if that contractor has any criminal or civil cases. Pay by credit card if you can. That has more protections than a personal check. You can also check with the city or county to see if the contractor is licensed, but be aware, a lot of communities do not require contractors to be licensed.